Stanton. Now, this week, former Bafana player Lebohang Marula appeared in the Boksburg Magistrates Court after allegedly attempting to hijack a cigarette truck with two others. This, however, has not been the first time South African sports stars or stars around the world have been in the news for all the wrong reasons. So today, Newsroom takes a closer look at why some of our big sporting names commit crimes. Joining us now to talk a bit more about this, we're joined by our senior partner at Eye to Eye Africa and sports psychologist Julian Delahunt. Julian, good morning. Thank you very much for joining us here in studio.
Good morning.
So when we see big-name sports stars at the highest level committing crimes, or we see former sports stars in trouble for an illegal activity, we often, as the public, wonder why, what has happened. I mean, why would you rise that high and fall that low?
Yeah, well, again, it's quite an interesting question, and you know, when we unpack the psychology of the mind, we often talk about our behavior being dictated by our self-beliefs. So when we work with individuals, we talk about the conscious versus the subconscious mind as an individual. And in a sports person specifically, and I guess in South African sport, from a football cultural perspective, there's not a culture of man management, of guiding these sports stars through a very quick rise to fame. Often many of our sports stars come from impoverished backgrounds. They come from an area where they were never exposed to the types of highs that they will be facing during often what is a short career. And during that time, they're not prepared for life after football or after sport.
So we talk about conditioning. We've seen it. We can talk about Oscar Pistorius, O.J. Simpson. We can talk about so many other sports stars that have fallen out of the limelight due to criminal activity. But while they're on that rise to stardom, and while they're at that level for however long they're conditioned. They're conditioned to always be the best, to think they're the best, to push their bodies, push their minds. How much does that play into some of the things that we've seen, the levels of aggression? We've seen it with rugby players. Once they drink and they go into pubs and they get into conflict situations with ordinary South Africans, it's almost as if they don't know how to switch off.
Well, I think whilst they're in the limelight and whilst they're living effectively public lives, where their lives are basically placed in cotton wool, and everything they do seems almost like a pseudo-reality to them, they then start blurring the lines between what is reality and what is entertainment and what is their everyday environment, where they effectively are public figures and they are superheroes to most. So they find it very difficult to then step out of that environment and live a normal, real life.
Is that even years after they've operated at that level? I mean, we've even seen top boxers being arrested for beating spouses. We've seen football players. I remember a clip of a lift where you saw a football player in the NFL beating his partner in a lift, and it looks like he's just absolutely lost it.
Yeah. Well, it's the same behavioral psychology that plays out when you find lotto players and lotto winners winning a massive lotto jackpot, and the research shows that within 2 or 3 years, 70% of individuals who've won lottos go back to a position where they were or previously, or even worse than what they were. That's the subconscious mind and the belief saying to them, well, perhaps I didn't really deserve this in the first place. Perhaps I was living a life that wasn't really mine, and it was great while it lasted, but I go back to subconsciously where I believe I should be. And if you believe that you come from a crime and an impoverished background, and that you may not necessarily have deserved all this fame and fortune during your sporting career, when you then find yourself ending your career, moving back into perhaps a hometown where you came from, with friends and associates that you were previously involved with, it's very easy to then go back to the subconscious mind trying to prove to the conscious mind, and it's quite, I can't teach psychology in 5 or 10 minutes,
sure.
but really the subconscious mind dictating the outcome of your future.
Just quickly share some insight in the work that you're doing with sports stars. Is it around self-esteem? Is it around being able to switch on, switch off, finding the best level? What is it, Julie?
Yes, absolutely. So some of our clients internationally, some of the Premier League football teams that we work with, and obviously locally working with some of the rugby teams, we spend a lot of time managing individuals. We spend much of the time, and one would be surprised at the type of psychological situations and issues that many of our top sports people face on a day-to-day basis. So we spend a lot of time working with them whilst they're in the mode of being a professional sports person, managing not only their sporting lives but their personal lives as well, and then post sporting career. So we prepare them for a life after sport as well when they're reaching that pinnacle of their career.
Julian, thank you very much for joining me and sharing your insight. That's Julian De La Hunt from Eye to Eye Africa. He's a sports psychologist sharing insights on why some of our beloved sports stars commit crimes. Now, let's go and take a look at what people are saying on Twitter.